Krusty Crew. Good morning, USA.
Good morning, sports fans. It is the last episode of the semester, and before we even... It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Let it out. Let it out. This is a safe space. Before we dive into this episode, we just want to thank you guys all so much for all the time you've spent watching the show, listening to us argue, listening to our great sports takes, our not so great sports takes. I'm sorry, D'Amico Ryans. I was wrong.
Hey,
I was wrong.
We've all had our moments. Like I said, Tommy DeVito would never do anything in the NFL, and yet he will be the Giants star for most of the season.
Yes, but he shouldn't have done anything in the NFL. So, that wasn't exactly a you thing. I just didn't believe in D'Amico Ryans because I'm a bad person and I don't believe in magic. And that's okay. I'm working on it. But we just want to thank you all so much for the time you've spent here with this show. In our first season of Good Morning Sports Fans, I guess maybe Son of a Pitch was like season 0.5. So we've had some learning curves, but we've gotten to work within a fantastic group. So Eric, Chris, Ellie, and Joe consistently stepping up, and then Roman, Cabby, Bowl coming for a couple episodes. Hayden doing hockey. Love that guy. So we are just so grateful for the audience and the people that we've been able to do this with. And Cam, thank you for being a fantastic co-producer.
I love you.
I will never take you for granted.
I will never take you.
And I'm excited to get some Burger King with you in a little bit.
Oh, I can't wait.
Whopper.
Yeah,
So
no,
I gotta ask you.
I got the same sentiment too, though. I'm
Whopper.
Yes, Whopper. But everyone that we worked with has been so great. This has been one of the best semesters I've had.
And obviously, a huge thank you to Ryan McGuire, who's been our studio manager, and Meg Craig for her consistent support and everything she does at OTN to make this show and many other shows run. We are just so grateful for all the blessings that we have and people around us. Cam, I got to ask you, we're going to get some Burger King. Do you prefer Burger King or McDonald's?
Gotta go McDonald's all the way. You're on a long drive, driving on the highway, driving for a few hours.
McChicken.
I want a McDonald's. Sitting around, it's like, damn, what do I want to eat?
Yeah.
I want some McDonald's. Like Burger King probably does have a better burger. Like the Whopper is probably better than a quarter pounder with cheese.
For sure.
But McDonald's is just like, it's the perfect go-to. It's so reliable. You hardly ever have a bad McDonald's meal. It's very, and you can see it, go to any McDonald's restaurant, it's the same thing. You're never really going to be disappointed with it.
So this is where I'm kind of going to disagree with you. I think McDonald's overall is better. I think the best McDonald's is better than the best Burger King. Burger King, you are constantly going to get like a 6 out of 10. McDonald's, you can get like a 2, or you could get like an 8.5.
Maybe it's just like my love for McDonald's is like all my kids. Like,
yeah, absolutely. You have
more.
so many children, and I'm so sorry for all the child support payments you have to make.
No, I'm paying for a lot of McDonald's.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this: McDonald's Coke and McDonald's Sprite are some of the best sodas you will ever drink.
There's something to do. It's the fries, the Coke, and the Sprite.
Yeah.
Just 3 things that like you just. And a good quarter pounder with cheese.
And a good quarter pounder with cheese.
Never.
Or as they call it in the Netherlands, a Port Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
Anyways, Cam, what has been your favorite memory this year on Good Morning Sports Fans?
My favorite memory, so it was one of the times where we got like kind of everyone together. It was when we had the Bird Gang segment with me, Bull, and Roman. That was such a good time. Having three guys who really know the Eagles just talk about them.
And 3 very strong Philly personalities. Yes. It was like Bradley Cooper was in the room with us.
It was really fun. And then that was one of the times where almost our whole cast, it's kind of like
Absolutely.
The whole cast was together. The whole team was together.
Family.
So we had like Eric and Chris killing it on college football, Joe and Ellie killing it on NBA, and then the Bird Gang, and then the 2 best hosts in all of OTN.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but was just
those review crew guys are pretty handsome. Let's be real here.
Yeah, no, especially Gabe.
Oh, he's a machine.
No, I gave him my number a few days ago. He just never texted me back. But
he isn't. His girlfriend doesn't like him texting other people. So
yeah, just don't tell my girlfriend.
Oh yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah, no, but it was just that was a really perfect day. I had a really good time.
Absolutely. Well, before I tell you my favorite memory from this season of Good Morning Sports Fans, Chris and Eric has some college football to talk to us about. So let's check it out.
Thanks, Cam and Gabe. An insane week. Florida State is the first undefeated Power 5 team to not be in the CFP.
It's crazy. I mean, it really is breaking news. I don't understand how they did it. I mean, they're supposed to kind of uphold the integrity of the sports, look at everyone's resume over the whole season, and yet they leave out a team because they didn't win a game by enough. They won every other game. They did everything they could. They scheduled a top 5 SEC team to start the season. They gave themselves basically a chance and a path to the playoffs, and it's all taken because of an injury.
I'm going to sound like a CFP committee member, but also SEC is all I got to say. And Alabama, they beat Georgia, the #1 ranked team in the country. How can you not, put them in the playoffs?
Because they have a loss. Because there's a team who's undefeated in the playoff. I mean, if we're talking about entertainment value, I'll give you that because I do think that the FSU team probably would have gotten beat pretty badly had they had made it.
And that's why.
But the CFP committee is not like scripting a show. They're not putting on a performance. It doesn't matter entertainment. It matters resume and who deserves to be in. And I think Florida State deserved to be in because they lost their quarterback and still won 2 games with a backup, one with a third string, over a top 15 team.
Well, we'll have to see in January when FSU plays Georgia. If they win, then I guess it proves they should have been in. And if not, we have our answer right there. But moving forward, Eric, what is your favorite sports moment of this year so far?
Well, my NFL teams, the Steelers and the Panthers, don't give me too many things to be happy about. And I hate celebrating someone losing their job. But Matt Canada had to go. And it is a happy day to be a Steelers fan, and I just hope we make the right hire.
Yeah, I guess, you guys stink still. I'm just going to be a hater. I guess I'll keep it orange for you guys, even though I'm wearing white. But Fran Brown being hired as Syracuse Orange's new head coach is probably my favorite sports moment of the year. And I just think it really ushers in a new era of Syracuse football. He's a great recruiter, right? He was also defensive back coach for Georgia. He's from the Northeast area. And so hopefully a lot of those, top recruits from the Northeast will start coming to Syracuse, New York.
I agree. It gives us something to be excited about.
But that's all we have for today for you guys, and we'll catch you in the new year. Ciao.
All right. Thank you, Chris and Eric. I agree. Florida State was absolutely snubbed.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I do think it's probably better for Florida State because otherwise they would be a joke. Like people wouldn't. In 20 years, people won't remember like, oh yeah, they started their third string quarterback. They'll remember Florida State got steamrolled by Alabama or Michigan or.
But who even knows? As an Eagles fan,
That's
should
true.
the Eagles have missed the playoffs when Carson Wentz went down for the season, who was by far their best player that year? He was the MVP basically until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Should they have not gotten the #1 seed? Should they have been a lower rank in the playoffs? Or should they have been kicked out of the playoffs just because of that? No.
Who knows?
I do agree that Florida State got screwed over.
I like to say it's like the TCU-Georgia thing. Yes, TCU lost to Georgia 7-65, but they earned the right to lose 7-65.
And if the college football committee knew that TCU was going to lose to Georgia, they would not even put them in the playoffs,
Absolutely.
even though they did deserve to be there.
I don't know who to attribute this quote with. I know it was on ESPN, and I'm sorry that I'm not going to get the name right. It was the day that football becomes figure skating, and I think that's a fantastic way to put it.
Yeah, I forgot who said that too,
But it wasn't for me. That's all I'll say. Now, my favorite memory this season had to be 2 things. One, talking hockey with my boy Hayden Kim. He is legitimately one of my best friends and also just one of the best minds of hockey that I know, so it was really nice to get together with him. I don't have too many friends who like hockey. You're my football buddy, but you'll watch hockey, but you're not as into it as some other people are. So it's really nice to have that. And then Kabale and Rudy Kumaran, who I literally met I met him before classes as a freshman. So getting my friend on to talk baseball with me was incredible. It is the winter meetings right now with baseball. By the time this episode is out, we might know where Shohei's going to go. We might know where Blake Snell's going to go. Might know where Yoshinobu Yamamoto's going to go.
What's your pick for Shohei? Because I don't know any of those other guys. But
that's totally okay. I have Blake Snell going to the Dodgers.
Okay.
I have Shohei going to either the Giants or the Dodgers, San Francisco. I think he's going to stay on the West Coast.
He's going to stay in California?
I do. And then I think Yoshinobu Yamamoto's either going to go to the Mets or the Yankees.
Interesting.
You got people on the Best Coast, you got people on the Beast Coast, and then you've got the Brewers in the middle. We don't have to talk about that right now because I don't want to be sad. Now, what doesn't make me sad, it just makes me abundantly happy, is how the Bucks are doing in the in-season tournament. But I'm not quite qualified to talk about it. I don't have the height. I'll tell you who does. Ellie, the Beast, and Joe, the Kaplan. It doesn't work as well, but that is his last name. They're going to tell us all about the NBA in-season tournament. Let's go check it out.
Thanks, Cam and Gabe. Joe, did you see those games last night, the in-season tournament?
Oh boy, did I see them! I thought, man, there were crazy games that happened last night. I think it was crazy. I thought it was insane.
So we have, moving on to the semifinals in the Western Conference, we have the Lakers and the Pelicans.
Yeah.
And in the Eastern Conference, we have the Knicks and the Pacers.
Yeah.
So, Joe, who do you have
Not the
winning
Knicks, the
each
Bucks.
conference? The Bucks.
The Bucks.
Excuse me.
Wish it was the
The
Knicks.
Bucks and the Pacers. So who do you have winning in the East and the West, and then who do you have winning the whole thing?
So I think I still have the Lakers winning in the West just because the talent is still there. LeBron, AD, their star role players, it's still there. The Pelicans, they're young. They're getting better athletically wise. But at the same time, I think the Lakers just outpower them, and they have what it takes to beat the Pelicans. On the East, honestly, the Pacers. I'm going with the Pacers. I mean, listen, Tyrese Halliburton is on another level right now. He's by far an all-star. In my opinion, he can be an all-star starter this year. I think he has a chance to overthrow the Bucks in Las Vegas. So yeah, and if we're going Pacers Lakers, I think I'm just gonna say the Lakers. I mean, the Pacers are great. The Lakers, I think they have what it takes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Every single thing you just said. I think that the Lakers, was a huge victory for them last night. Not just for the in-season tournament, but just for the whole, the entire season, beating a Suns team, which is, supposed to be one of the best in the league with Booker and Kevin Durant. But yeah, the Lakers, they're built to win this thing. They have the shooting, they have the size, the athleticism, the length, everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's my pick for the West. And then I agree with you with the East. The Pacers, I think that the Pacers against the Celtics it just seemed that they wanted it more. They were motivated. And I think that cash prize of $500,000 motivates a lot of these players. A lot of these guys on the Pacers are not making a lot of money, are on, rookie deals, small scale deals. So, the guys who are making a lot of money are motivated to win it for these younger guys. And so, Lakers, Pacers, I think that's kind of like, the battle of total opposites. Pacers are like a young, kind of fast-paced team, athletic. Not to say that Lakers aren't athletic, but then you have the Lakers who are like older, more veterans, really solid defensively. But again, I think that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to end up winning it, and I have the Lakers winning the whole thing.
By the way, prove me if I'm wrong. The Pacers in-season tournament jerseys best in the league, my opinion.
Yes,
Anyway.
definitely. Those courts and those new jerseys are looking very nice. Moving away from the in-season tournament, Joe.
Yes.
The year is coming to an end. I need to know,
Shed a
what
tear.
is your favorite sports memory from 2023?
So I'm from New Jersey, right? I'm also a Giants fan. Man, we had a rough season so far. Daniel Jones went down. Tyrod Taylor went down. 40-0 to start the season against the Cowboys. They could not have started off in a worse way. But Tommy DeVito, look at this guy right here. Man, has he been performing? Has he been performing to an insane level? No, but it's hilarious. It's so much fun to watch. Right now, the Giants are on a 2-game winning streak. I know it's against the Commanders and the Patriots, but come on, you got to shed some love to Tommy DeVito. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's taking the league by storm. And I think, the Giants, man, it sucks that we're not going to get a high draft pick, and we're also not going to do well later on in the season. But I just think the whole storyline is just hilarious to watch, and I think it's a great memory.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Sopranos lately, so I've been into the Italian Tommy DeVito, that whole Italian vibe. But for me, and I'm gonna have to kind of follow along what you're saying. I'm from Houston, and a Texans fan. The past few years have not been good. Kind of ever since the Deshaun Watson downfall and them getting traded, the Davis Mills experiment. So these past couple of years has not been good. But this year in the draft, second pick overall, C.J. Stroud, and it looks like that we've hit the lottery. We got the best player in the draft. We got the best quarterback. And, in these 11, 12 games that he's played, he's looked fantastic. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for years to come. And, I'm talking about the future, but also this year, Texans are 7-5 right now, competing for a wild card spot. But they're not just stopping there. They have a great chance to get a wild card spot, but they're competing to win the division. Jacksonville's looking a little bit shaky now. So I'm feeling confident in the Texans and C.J. Stroud, him getting drafted, and this entire Texans season has been my favorite moment. Favorite sports moment for this year.
Quickly leading off of that just for a minute. I mean, the Texans are unbelievable. I did not see this coming out from the Texans one bit. I know the loss of Jacksonville is really going to kill them when it comes to maybe winning the division. But, Trevor Lawrence, like you said before, they're a little shaky, and he is hurt. So C.J. Beathard, I don't think he's going to have that chance to carry the Jags back to where they were last year in the playoffs. And C.J. Stroud's looking unbelievable. There was a chance he was going to MVP this year.
Yeah.
I bet slid a bit, but you never know. I mean, And Will Anderson, you can't forget about this guy. He was a 3rd pick in the draft, and this guy's looking unbelievable as well. D'Amico Ryans has a great chance of winning Coach of the Year. Texans, man, what a turnaround for the better.
Yeah. C.J. Stroud and the Texans looking like the future of the NFL.
For sure.
I'm Ellie.
And I'm Joe.
Thank you guys so much.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, guys. That was a slam dunk performance.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, what was your favorite sports memory
Thank you.
of this semester?
So everyone else has been saying one or two. You and I are the hosts of this show, so I feel like we can say as many as we want. So I'm going to say a couple. First off, the Packers have beaten, in succession, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Detroit Lions, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chargers aren't as good as they previously were, but the Packers obviously were not slated to beat them. The Lions are a fantastic team, and while it got close towards the end, that was a fantastic way to start my Thanksgiving, and I was very grateful for it. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they won the Super Bowl last year. Now, obviously, there were some egregious...
So.
There was a slippery slope on who should have won. Yeah. There were obviously some egregious missed calls on both sides.
Yes.
There was
a complete failure by the refs towards
absolutely,
the end of the game.
But that's been a theme of this entire year.
Yeah, especially when it comes to games that the Chiefs are playing.
Absolutely. And I just want to own up, yes, that PI was missed, but also there was a personal foul that 100% shouldn't have been called.
Yeah, on Jonathan Owens.
Exactly. So, you know what? You can't win sometimes, but we beat the Chiefs, and that makes me incredibly happy.
Jordan Love has looked very good. Do
He's
you think the
looked
Packers
very
might
loved.
not be searching for a QB this offseason?
I think if he does well against the rest of the schedule, we won't be looking for a QB. I still have us projected, well, we're doing really good right now. My original person who I thought we were going to get was Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. I think he would do a lot for us, but we have a lot of needs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be getting rid of Aaron Jones. Jair Alexander has a couple years left, but also, he's pretty severely injured. So I don't know what we're going to do. All I know is I believe in Matt LaFleur. His play calling has been fantastic again. And Joe Barry is still a bad defensive coordinator, but the defense is stepping up. So that's great for me. And then, listen, I don't know how Dame in Milwaukee is going to go because it's really reduced our defense. I'm just going to be honest. Dame is not a defensive player. And losing Drew Holiday is always going to hurt. He was a fantastic part of the team. Now, I'm going to be honest. He hasn't looked fantastic on the Celtics. Just full up confession. But even if Dame... doesn't the Dame experience doesn't go well in Milwaukee, we went all in. And that's just an incredible feeling, you know? After a season where it's it was oh, we're just bringing the team back, last year. Just being willing to blow it up and bring in Dame is always going to be interesting to see. What about you?
So, Chris talked about it earlier, but for me, it was bringing in Fran Brown. After watching the press conference, I feel like he's reinvigorated the whole campus. He's definitely someone you want in the community. He's someone you want as a head coach. He's someone you just want to develop players, and you feel like he has everyone's best interest at heart, and he's not only in it for himself. So that, I'm not saying that about the old head coach either, not even at all. Actually, I like Dino Babers. But Fran Brown's very good to have him in the school. I love the head coaching hire, and I think he's going to do so much for Syracuse as a team, as a school, and as a community. But, so since that's already been said, I'll come up with a more original one. I'm going to go with...
I can say two more of mine if you want to keep thinking.
Yeah, give me two more of yours.
Yeah, so I'm a huge baseball guy. The Milwaukee Brewers opened our season by sweeping the New York Mets. And along the way, we also swept the Los Angeles Angels. And we swept the World Series champions, Texas Rangers. It was also quite nice. On this show, I called that the Texas Rangers were going to win the World Series and in how many games. That was just an edifying feeling. And then for hockey, the Nashville Predators went 6 in a row. And that was a really good feeling. It's always nice when you can get on that hot streak. And I know, we're talking about memories. I don't like Los Angeles Kings. The fact that they have won every single road game this season has just been fun to watch. So I've covered all of my big four. Cam, do you have one?
I'll stay on the Syracuse road, but we'll go basketball.
Okay.
I really like that win against Colgate. Even though Colgate's probably not a team that we want to be going down 24 to. That's a team that's had our number for the past 2 seasons, and it looked like they had our number for the 3rd season in a row, and we just were able to overcome adversity, and I really like that about this team. Even though we shouldn't have been put in the hole that we were put in, it shows that we're not just going to give up and roll over and lay down. We're going to fight back, and the 24-point comeback that we ended up doing is the 2nd biggest in ACC history. I believe it's top 10 in NCAA D1 history.
Yeah,
in the biggest comebacks
in a different year. That comeback wouldn't have happened.
No,
we would have rolled over.
We would have lost by 30.
Yeah. It is truly a new era for Syracuse athletics.
2 new head coaches.
2 new head coaches, and so it's just nice to be a sports fan and be a Syracuse sports fan. And we promise you, this show for all of next semester will be maybe not the best source. I mean, I like to think it is, but will be a fantastic source for keeping up with all the sports news that you care about. Thank you again all so much for watching. Thank you everyone who's been involved, and we're just so grateful to be here. Cam, anything to add before we go?
Thank you everyone for watching.
Cam, enjoy your winter break. I know I will. I'll be bothering you. Gotta ask you, what is the first Christmas movie you're gonna watch? Like, what do you watch on Christmas Eve, man?
I go 2 movies. 1966 is How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Boris Karloff, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the stop-motion one.
Fantastic. Well, mine are very different. I will be watching Violent Night, and hey, there's a great crew review of that you should check out. Maybe
Nice plug.
There'll be a link popping up right here somewhere on the screen. And I also watch the greatest action movie of all time, Die Hard.
So very different ones.
Two very different from what you're recommending. But Die Hard versus the Grinch is a fantastic movie, and Warner Brothers, if you're interested, send us an email. We're willing to discuss. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.